What's up, guys? Last and certainly not least, in fact, best, we're covering Rusveit, the strongest faction in the base expansion. Now, what makes Rusveit so strong? Well, first off, you are on the best two resources to start on. That is a village and a steel. You don't even have to move. You can start getting your way up to 5 workers. So first thing you're going to want to do in a game is get up to 5 workers, deploy your Riverwalk mech. You are the only faction in the game that goes with your Riverwalk mech first. Now why is that? So 5 workers or 8 workers, generally 5, get your Riverwalk mech. Well, it allows you to get access to this farm, so you can start getting enlists out, and allows you to have access to this encounter. Now normally the problem with getting your Riverwalk mech or Underpass or whatever mech out first is that you don't really get access to the encounter. Or even if you do, you can't really deploy your workers in a way that's meaningful. Well, since your Riverwalk mech gets you access to this encounter immediately from the base, and gets you access to food early on, it's something you're going to want to do. Even though your workers are going to be unevenly distributed, 4 on food, 1 on steel, that's totally fine. You need to get onto your food early. So you have 5 workers, you have your Riverwalk mech out, you picked up this encounter, you have 4 workers here, and you have this worker here. Well, now you're going to spam enlists. Get all 4 of your enlists out, generally before any player besides sometimes Crimea. Once you have all 4 of your enlists out, you can deploy another mech, then split onto wood and onto steel, because you're going to be picking up speed mech. Or you can also, so split onto wood and onto steel. And with your character, you can jump back to this and actually pick up this encounter with your speed mech. So you pick up this encounter as well as splitting onto wood and steel. Now suddenly you're going to probably want an upgrade on your produce action. So if you can do so, probably get it. If not, then you're probably just going to either go onto wood or onto steel, choose one, and start producing from there. So that's really Rusveit's early game. It's so strong in the fact that you start on the 2 strongest resources and you have access to your, another really strong early game resource. You have access to spamming your same early game action, so you're getting up to 5 workers before any other player is. You have access to an encounter with your Riverwalk mech. You have access to getting your enlists out first or second in the game. And you're going to be getting all 4 of your mechs out in the game pretty quickly as well. So Riverwalk, then speed, then township if you want, but you don't have to. So if you go township, you can go from this encounter to the factory, which is pretty strong. I will cover that in a second. But if you don't, you can still move down to this encounter, which should generally be available if purple isn't in the game. Now, factory actions as red. Why are they good? Well, with Polania, they allow you to pick up encounters, and encounters are especially good with them. Well, with red, say you picked up, like, okay, pay 2 golds to build and like get a combat power or something. I don't have all the combat or the factory cards memorized because I don't really pick them up every game. But if you have an action that's really spammable, it's going to get you a star on its own. Picking up a factory card is something that you can spam, because then it'll get you a star and you can pick up encounters all over the place. And as long as the factory action is getting you a star or getting you up to the next tier of popularity or something, then it can be worth spamming it, because you can take that action every turn if you so choose. Odds are you're not going to take it every turn. You're going to want to do other things, but if it's like build a building, enlist something, or probably not enlist because you already have your enlist out, but like build a building or deploy a mech, then you're going to want to spam that, not upgrades. Do not spam upgrades. Even with Rusveit, it takes too long. Alright, any other early game principles? As we were talking about with Nords, if Nords tried to move on to this village, so you're going to get your 5 workers, you're going to get your Riverwalk mech, move here, and move here. If Nords are getting up to 5 workers and beginning to look like they're deploying a mech, one thing you're going to have to do, it's annoying to be sure, but you're going to have to do it, is you're going to have to move your mech onto here. This is going to make the Nord player very upset, but they were about to try to make you very upset, so all's fair in love and war. So kick them. Don't even think about it. They're planning on getting a mech and attacking you here. Kick them, and then their entire game is ruined, and then they will never do that to you again, and they'll understand that this is their village. Other things you need to know, your base is really safe. It's unfairly safe. Like, this lake is protecting you in a way that it really shouldn't be. If I were to design this again, I'd probably switch the mountain and the oil so Saxony could attack you, as well as not having access to the immediate mountain as you get up to your resource count. I think they designed this as a nerf, but it's actually a buff to have your mountain here and your oil here. But given the AI and given kind of what the developers have been thinking about, I think they overvalue upgrades and think oil is one of the best resources early. It's the only reason I can think that they thought Saxony was balanced. Was they're like, oh, but you get oil in your starting ring. Look at that. Only one other faction gets oil in their starting ring. It's like, no, that's not good. Anyway, anything else you need to know is Rusveit? Not really. Follow those principles, get up to 5 workers, get your Riverwalk mech, get onto both farms, and just play the game from there. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys have a lot of fun playing Rusveit. They are a lot of fun. Not having to plan out, like, weaving in certain actions. You just get to take whatever action you want over and over and over again. It's just really, really nice. It's really, really fun. And I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.